It's the last day of BookTube-a-thon. And I don't know. I just don't know. Are we gonna finish? We'll see. So my 7th and final read and final challenge, which is to read 7 books from BookTube-a-thon, is volume 4 of Paper Girls. I bought this a while ago and don't know why I haven't read it yet, because I usually buy these and then they're done in an instant. It don't come out that quickly, so I try to I'm attempting to savor them a bit more than I usually do, so that's why this one hasn't been read yet. But it will be read today, because even if I don't finish my other books, this is so quick. And it's long overdue and needed, to be honest. So I'll check in throughout the day. We'll see where this day takes us. Cannot imagine all 7 being read, but I mean, if we want to live in that fantasy, sure. It's early Sunday morning. Anything can happen, right? I'm not tired at all. I had to pause because I have to go to Trader Joe's because it's the beginning of the week and there's just a million things we need. And everyone on Bookstagram keeps recommending all these great things from Trader Joe's. And today my mission is the cold brew concentrate. Both Katha reads and Jenna reads books just posted about that, and I always look at it and I'm always curious, and I'm freaking getting it this time. I also keep listening to the song from the show The Sinner on repeat, and not sure what that says about me as a person, so any opinions, leave them below, please. I'm almost done with Station 11 and I cannot believe how good it's getting, or it's been consistently good, but I feel like, God, there's just a lot to think about afterward, and who knows where my head will be at that time. I'm also co-reading it with the GRAYBAR Hotel, which naturally, I mean, that's written while he's in jail, so the stories, it's a lot. It's been a lot of reading. I might have to read Paper Girls soon just to bring myself back, so we'll see. I'm currently in line to get a car wash, so trying to be productive and finish the readathon, so let's see how this goes. Also wearing my Bookshelf Teas shirt as a closing celebration, so what can you do? We'll see. Just reading a chapter in the car wash. This is what you have to do. Okay, I just finished Station 11 and goodness gracious. That's a book that I feel you're supposed to. I wish I ended with that book because I feel it requires a bit of processing, and I'm just gonna let it simmer and think about it a little more. I am worried to say anything just because I feel you should read it for yourself. So because I don't want to sway anybody's feelings about any parts of the book. So really interesting, really glad that I incorporated it into this just because it was so different from all the other books that I read, and it was a really good one. So I'm gonna give it either 4 or 4.5 stars out of 5 on Goodreads, so we'll see. I'll probably end up doing like a wrap-up of all the books at the end with what I actually marked them as on Goodreads, but we'll see. I gotta keep going with this one. And then I'm either going to read Paper Girls or start My Name is Leon. So we're really not going to finish, but that's okay. I have a question for you all because I'm curious. Do you read with like things going on in the background? Like, do you ever have like a show on, or somebody else has a show on or something and you're reading? Because I think it might be because of growing up with like a lot of siblings, but I feel like I get more done when there's a lot of sound going on and like stimulation, and like Wes pretty much can only have like one like music or something, like repetitive sounding music or something like that, and cannot watch a show while doing work or anything like that. And anytime I'm like working on anything really, like there's always something else on in the background, or there'd be like a show or music or something, and I'm just curious about others. Are you like that, or are you a silent reader? Reading, I mean, more often than not, I am reading with nothing on in the background. But if I'm like writing or, I mean, really doing any other thing, there's something on in the background. And sometimes it's just like sound. More often than not, it's just like repeats of The Office, just because then it's like I'm with all my friends. But sometimes I'll put on even like a movie or something, just, I don't know. I'm curious, just wondering. I just finished Paper Girls, and it was amazing, and 5 out of 5, hands down. And I feel like this story, yep, this is on backwards, I just don't care anymore. This is almost over. I just feel like every time I read one of those, I am instantly intrigued by the story. It's always too short, and I just now want the next one. So I think that's a good sign for a graphic novel series, if you ask me. Still making my way through the GRAYBAR Hotel. There's a lot of like bleak stories, obviously, in this, and it's just really slowed me down. I hate to break it to everyone, but it's just not going to happen tonight. I am going to read it still and talk about it in my wrap-up, but it's not going to be finished by the time BookTube-a-thon is finished. There's no way. There's just not enough time. But 6 out of 7, that's pretty good in my book, so I'll take it. Because the GRAYBAR Hotel only has a little bit left, so that will get finished. But pretty good stuff. I'm excited to do the wrap-up. I think that this one will be obviously different than last year. I think I read either 3 or 4 last year. I definitely didn't finish. And this was much better. I think that I got much more wise with my choices this year too. So I think I'll get even wiser next year. I need to say it in my wrap-up, but also just note to future self, if I'm going to be working full-time, at least one of the books needs to be an audiobook, just because then I can at least get one done while driving to work or around for work. I think that was like my killer this time. So, good to know for next time. I'll check in before this is over. That's a wrap. I'm finished with the GRAYBAR Hotel, and it was good. I think, I mean, it's broken up into different stories. I think some stories were better than others, but overall, pretty interesting. I'll talk about it more in my wrap-up, but unfortunately, My Name is Leon did not make it into this BookTube-a-thon, but like I said, I'm gonna read it next and then talk about it in my wrap-up anyways, even though I didn't do all 7. But thank you so much for following along. This has been a very interesting 7 days. I feel like I knew going in my recording was going to be really different than others just because I do work full-time, so I'm pretty limited in when I can read anyway. But I also wanted to try to show that you can still do these kind of things and you can definitely still read when you work full-time. I just wouldn't necessarily read this intensely, and I understand why other people wouldn't either. This was really fun, and it was nice to really get through some of the books on my unread shelf, mostly that are from Book Outlet. So that was really great too, just because I get a lot of new books and these ones are not as new, so it was nice to go back to some of those and put everything else aside for a while. Stay tuned for my wrap-up. I will be posting that at some point this week. But thank you for watching. It's been really fun, and I hope to see you at my wrap-up. Good night. I'm so glad to be done with that flippin' hat.